students going to the loo stops learning and is massively disruptive. But is it really the right decision to lock the toilets during class time? Or is that just a step too far?
Let's talk to a parent and a former head teacher. Broadcaster Ateh says the idea of banning students from the toilet is disgusting. Former head Mark Lehain says it is fine. Anyone who disagrees clearly hasn't worked in a school. Ateh, have you worked in a school?
I haven't worked in a school.
But you've been to school.
But I've been a teenager in a school,
Exactly.
and the thought of having to change a sanitary towel or, like, having my period and not being able to ask permission would have been mortifying. I think as a woman, as a mother of twin girls, I try to teach my children about sovereignty over their body, being advocates, having agency over their bodies, and the fact they can't meet their basic needs because it's been taken away really horrifies me.
Mark Lehain, you used to be the head of a school. There must be some exceptions to this. I mean, Ateh's got a point. You know, for girls, time of the month, you surely wouldn't be able to say, no, you can't go to the toilet.
Absolutely right. I mean, I'm a father of 4 girls myself, so I totally get that. But exceptions have to be exceptional. And the way you keep schools safe, the way you keep toilets a safe space is you have to monitor them and make sure that there's staff passively observing who's going in and out. And if you're letting kids wander in and out of lessons, you've got disruption going on there. And if you're not keeping an eye on the toilets when they're being used, they're not going to be safe for those children when they really need to use them.
Locking them, though? I mean, how do you make exceptions? I mean, do you give the person with the exception a key?
So the way that most schools will be doing it, I mean, literally tens of thousands of teachers and hundreds of thousands of kids might be watching this going, we've always done it like this. Because what you'll do is you'll make sure that none of the toilets are available. Sorry, most of the toilets aren't available during lessons, and there will probably be a set of toilets nearby staff, maybe a receptionist or another colleague, who can keep an eye on who's going in and out.
What is the reason why you would do this? Because it clearly is disruptive, in your opinion, and this head's opinion. Are students unable to focus in lessons? Are they taking time out to do something they shouldn't be doing in the toilets? What's the actual reason behind the locking?
It's those and other things. So first of all, sometimes children do just need the toilet, and you've just got to try and encourage them to do it before lessons, after lessons, break times, lunchtime, and so on. The other reason why they're trying to get out of that is vaping is a huge thing in schools now. It was never really a thing it certainly wasn't a thing 10 years ago. It's a big thing now. But also sometimes teenagers just want to catch up with their mates and get out of lessons, and it might be one kid from your class, but there'll be another kid from another class down the corridor and another.
You don't want disrupted lessons. I mean, let's put aside absolute emergency, must use, I'm going to go to the toilet next to the staff room
If you can find the key.
Yeah. I think the excuse of vaping and vandalism, I just think it's a bit ridiculous. It's like putting a plaster on a dam. Deal with the real problems. It's about education. It's about teaching people about the health. It's about service in the community, cleaning things and going to nursing homes and helping, so you get that sense of being a good citizen. I think bathrooms are also a safe space.
Sorry, but that doesn't address the issue that kids are leaving the classroom to vape in a toilet.
I think whether vaping should be dealt with, not because locking the bathroom isn't going to stop the vaping issue. It's about educating, it's about banning them, and it's at a much higher level.
Why can't you just ban them, the vapes?
Well, they are banned in most schools. In fact, you won't find a school that hasn't got them banned.
Yeah, but you said that the reason that you're locking the toilets is so that people go in and
so that kids can't get in there and vape. That's right.
So you're not stopping the kids vaping, even though you've banned
But we are stopping them during lessons. And then, of course, during break times, you'll have staff on duty keeping an eye on who's going into the toilets and what's going on in there. Remember, this rule is not just to stop disruption in lessons, but it is to keep toilets safe. We want toilets to be a safe space.
I think,
and you can't do that.
Do your job. Do your job rather than punishing children. I think bathrooms are also a safe space. There's so many children suffering from anxiety, ADHD, overwhelm, and nipping into a bathroom just for a 5-minute break, just for a breather, do some breath work. It's, it's also about communal space.
Can I ask, do people have... I mean, Ateh mentioned some serious conditions there, but is there a problem with focus amongst particularly secondary school children? They're so used to apps, social media, TikTok, Snap, that they cannot focus for a full, 45 minutes, an hour, without taking a break to go and look at their phones,
So,
for
I mean,
instance?
that is certainly something that friends of mine that are working in schools will tell me they think might be going on. But, of course, the answer to that is just to ban smartphones from being accessible at all in school through the day. Again, that's another way of making school a safer space. If they know they can't access their phones...
And is that something you do but can't enforce?
That's something that's actually much easier to enforce that, because if you see a phone, you just take it. And, again, more and more schools are now just banning phones completely during the course of the school day. It does help kids switch off from the being wired and being online. And again, it makes schools safer. But going back to the thing about accessing toilets just for 5 minutes here and there, it's 5 minutes here, it's 5 minutes there. Schools are complicated places. It's not like when you're at home and it's just me and my 4 girls and I can keep an eye on stuff. Schools might have 500, 1,000, 1,500 people in them. They're complicated places. That's why you need to have rules. And the key thing is you have to make those rules black and white, so it's not down to the poor individual teacher trying to negotiate with a kid.
If you did this in prison, you'd be in a human rights court. That's what I'm saying. Why are we not giving our children in schools where they should be safe, where they're learning how to navigate in the world? Why are we teaching them this when this wouldn't be acceptable in the office or the workplace?
All right, Ateh, thank you very much indeed. Mark Lehain, thank you.